of motorcycles, you'll just love some of these machines, and well worth the pit walk, and of course free access to the pits here as well for everybody to come and see these beautiful motorcycles at their living legend best as they line up here. The excitement of our first race, and great to see our crew all on board here today, thanks to the Bruce McLaren Motorsport Park and their fine work that they do. There's our grid. We only have one person on the grid these days. In the interest of safety, he's got to get over the barrier before our first race can start, as we'll look forward to getting this field underway. And what a lineup we've got as we look to it, of course, following from our qualifying sessions. And away we go. And look out to the best, and with Glenn Scatchell, Matt Eglinton and S.J. Cavell is just the first three that we watched to the lineup down there to the fabulous turn one, as it's politely called here. Somebody, for some reason, I think has a few problems a little bit further back, but we have got them away as I welcome Spider Staples on board for our commentary team for 2017 Spider. An era of interest and the excitement builds. You've been following a good bit of road racing during the season. Looking forward to a good series?
Oh, definitely. I normally miss the first round of the Suzuki Series. I've got commitments down in Timaru, but because the Suzuki Series has been pushed away a little bit further into Christmas, I'm here, and it's great to see the new colours of the bikes and the new teams, and just whole fields are just packed. It's just packed. It's getting bigger and bigger. Last weekend I was at a meeting with 370 bikes, the biggest I've been in New Zealand. I was down there 5 days. I've got an addiction.
Yeah, and a nice one to have indeed. As we watch this man, Glenn Scatchell, of course, Glenn coming back to his love of older motorcycles on the Webster Racing Metzler Tide California Superbike School Bimotor, and it was a beautifully presented bike on the track, and anything that Glenn touches will be. And of course, Glenn himself, as far as a pilot is concerned, is highly rated as well. So we're going to find some great racing, I'm sure, coming up from him. In fact, already I'm sure he's going to find a clean pit of heels as he breaks clear of the field. And look at that for that Bimotor, fabulous to see. And of course, that is the YB8 as well, and of course the S in there is meaning at the senior category also. Coming through the legendary chicane as we come in towards the front straight for the first time, we'll be able to pick up, although of course it was from the stationary start, the first lap on that beautiful bike in the 47 of Glenn Scatchell, and it pulls a lovely wheel as he then drops it nicely onto that second corner as we go back to Matt Eglinton in there at the moment. And for Matt, the man out of Rotorua on that Yamaha Metzler Tide Kiwi Span NZ Building supported Superbike, another senior competitor. All he can see, of course, is the fact that Glenn Scatchell has left him already, Spider, and starting to clear out, but equally so too is Matt in that second place. And I get the idea, unless things change for the streets of Wanganui, that this might be the same at Manfield, because that'll be home territory for Glenn Scatchell. Oh,
Manfield is going to be on fire. Already qualified nearly 5 seconds a lap quicker than Glenn Scatchell. Nick Cole's ridden these bikes, with Mike Webster helping on them, and he says that he reckons one of these bikes set up well can win the Robert Holden Memorial, the outright class at Wanganui, and Glenn Scatchell's got that ability too. They bought a superbike just for him to practice on this bike. That's the last year's horse cycle machine, so he can get up to speed more on the Post Classic. Went to Australia and identified that all the top posty guys in the class over there also ride superbike, so Mike Webster and Angela went out there and bought the superbike to do this. The biggest thing I see with Scatchell at the moment is concentration. He's got 5 seconds up his sleeve. It's concentration. Hopefully we can get some lap records out there and have a look. And not too sure that the conditions are going to allow a lot of lap record breaking today, but certainly we'll try and get those results and get them up there as Glenn Scatchell comes through for another lap. Eagleton's doing very, very well. There's normally 2 Eagleton brothers riding, but one at the moment on 583. S.J. Cavell in 3rd spot as the screen changing. Go right to the tail end. Nigel Lennox on 20L in 19th spot. He's at a lot of meetings, Post-Classic and Moderns, Formula 3, and always good. So 3rd place, S.J. Cavell. Patrick Nausbaum goes through on the 911 machine. The man, he bought this bike new in 1989. It didn't look quite this. It looked like this exactly, and still he didn't either, but he's out there and currently sitting in 4th place. You can see his dreads waving in the wind.
All right, another one to look out for, folks, is going to be the man we just know as Dino. Loved him to bits for so long, Dean Bentley, and I think Dean might be the first of our junior class. He's on that fabulous Yamaha if it's FZR 600. Of course, a great bike from its heyday. Speaking about FZR 600, it's having a nice talk with Dave Cole here earlier this morning, and Dave just reminding us, in fact, it's 20 years ago this season since he last won a New Zealand title as far as New Zealand Major Championship racing was concerned, and to have done it, of course, on an FZR 600 in the days, Spidey, you recall, where you could do an F2 class but also that sports production class. He was able to win both of those titles that year, and to see him still involved as the way he is, helping out a young gun like Rogan Chandler, working alongside the suspension legend and Robert Taylor, I just find so great that people 20 years on can still put so much back into the sport. Great to see with Post Classics. And as always, Spider, a lineup of great machines by Motor. Spider, in all your years of following the sport and around the globe, you've seen a few of those at their best?
Oh, definitely. I can remember the World Superbikes at Manfield, and David Tartozzi and Stefan Mertens there were poised there. One of them, I think it was Mertens, was poised to maybe win the race of the day and win the World Championship, and he crashed in warm-up lap.
Tardozzi.
It was Tardozzi, sorry. Yep. But Mertens and Tardozzi were there on these beautiful Yamahas. Of course, we had Andrew Stroud had campaign one here for a number of years as well. A Bimotor. I've got an SP3, a Suzuki GS1000 Bimotor, and just a classic Italian bike, absolutely fast. What are we looking at in lap times? We're down to a 1:32.477, a 1:32.962 is what Scatchell qualified on this morning. 1:38 for Mac Edelton, so he's a little bit slower than his qualifying time of 1:37.7, but he knows he's never going to beat, never going to catch up with Glenn Scatchell. He's looking behind him as well, and there's a good 150 metres there. We go back into third place. Patrick Nilsbaum. Dino Bentley was having problems when he changed down from third. His bike was going into first gear. I says, well, you just be careful out there. So he's having to ride round that at the moment, and that is trouble for him, but he's certainly out there doing it well on the TSS Red Baron machine.
And in fact, he is in the lead as far as the junior lineup's concerned. And interesting that from a practice qualifier point of view, that Scott Finley on the bike number 20 actually got the better run on that Kawasaki ZXR 400 on the Kiwi House Inspection, Spectrum Motorcycles, Pirelli, Spa Hotel, Subway supported 400 over the 600, and that was an advantage for Scott. But when it comes to the racetrack, it seems as if Dino's been able to put it together. So the race within the race for our junior lineup in our post-classic field, sponsored by Lindsay Tate and Associates. So there it is, the Glenn Scatchell lineup, and again, Team Webster, Mike and Angela, fantastic couple, people dedicated to the sport. Mike shows as much passion about being a team owner than he would as if he was a competitor. So great to see as always. And then looking back to that second place, the margin now is out at 19.99, almost 20 seconds. So it's obviously even going to get greater. So well done there as we check out that difference between them. So it's smoking it and showing it which way's the winning way for the front runner out there, Glenn Scatchell. Second place in our lineup at the moment to our 583 Mark Eggleton there on the Yamaha. And then following on from third place to SJ Cavell out there, the Napier man on the Yamaha FZR 1000, courtesy of Eastworld Engineering. Fast Eddie at Bikeworks. Of course, we know Eddie K, of course, Eddie Kattenberg is over there at Fast Eddie's, along with Henderson Road Panel and Paint, Highway Tyres and Burrell Signs. Big shout out to Highway Tyres and the team, Dan, Kirsty and co. Lovely to have them on board, helping so many of the teams out, and no exception there to see those guys supported by a great team as well. Little bikes tucked in there as well, so looking out for that sort of David and Goliath, as it were, so you find quite a contrast between the highs and the lows. But it's not all of the post-classic guys that venture themselves for racing here on these bigger tracks, or also from the point of view of going to Wanganui, as you'll see many of them line up to do. So here we are, post-classics with Lindsay Tate and Associates, and our front runner Glenn Scatchell second, Mac Eggleton third for SJ Cavell, fourth in there for Patrick Newsom, and then we're going to look back behind Patrick to Dean Bentley, so Dean in there as well, and Scott Finley behind him. So Scott's the one that's moving up, or has that changed, Spider?
No, that has changed.
Yep.
Scott Finley's got through on, they're both riding bike number 11. Dean's on the white and the Yamaha white and orange one. Scott's on the black bike, as we see Wayne Marshall goes through on the ZXR750, number 14. A great range of motors. Oh, who had the big overshoot? Scott Finlay did. The big overshoot at the end of the main straight, went out right to the cones and tucked back in. So he's been pushed back down as we see the white flag is out the final lap. So that's about 2-second gap he's got to make up. And he's been hunted down by, I think, possibly John Louis. John Louis on the 88 machine. That's a big bike. That's not a junior bike, but still he's been hunted down. But Scotty Finlay on the black 11 bike, the Subway sponsor machine, is reeling in Dean Bentley. This is the honours for the junior class. Not younger riders, definitely not younger riders. It's just senior was the Formula 1 class of the day, junior was the Formula 2 class of the day. So that's how they get the title there. So I believe we've already got a lap record out of Glenn Scatchell, 1:32.347. We're just getting the timing crew to update our lap record. So we are on the final lap of the first race here at Taupo Motorsport Park. Great to see Carl Cox over here and wandering around the pits and just enjoying it. There's the checkered flag. There's the checkered flag, Neil Ritchie.
Yes, indeed. Great to see, and well done smoking it up there in great style, Glenn Scatchell, as we had one eye towards that, but also one eye towards that bike battle going on at this stage for the fight for the juniors, Dean Bentley and Scott Finley. So even though the results won't show us anything of a change because it happened all within the same lap, but first of all, Scott was able to pip Dean and take the advantage. Then, of course, the overshoot from Scott saw Dean take it back again, so they'll come down to the wire. So look out for the white and the black in those two smaller bikes. So Dean Bentley, good work from Dean there. Of course, on the sin bin, the Office Relocation Company, TSS Red Bear.